So I'm just doing some audio editing of a video that I shot on my iPhone. And even though I used a Comica plug-in mini shotgun condenser microphone into the iPhone and I recorded it on Filmic Pro, the audio levels are a little bit lower than I'd like. And I'm going to play a little bit of the audio for you now. And just, well, before I do that, notice the levels down here at the bottom around here, and just listen and then watch over in this area for the to see about where the levels are. I think they're about between -20 and -12. Basically illuminate the green screen. As you can see, it's nice and even in the background. So this is just a cloth. It's a piece of fabric that I've got pinned up on some wood that comes down from the ceiling. A lot of things bolted to. So the audio levels were pretty much where I said, between -20 at the low end and about -12 at the high end. So about this 8 dB range between the valleys and the peaks, so to speak. But I want to output at a much higher level. You can see down here, if you look at the timeline clip, that I want to, my overall level is much lower than this blue line, which represents 0 dB, or around 0. Actually, it's at -1 right now. Let's put that at 0. So in order to do that, to get the level up a little bit louder, I'm going to include 2 effects, and these are both audio plugins. So I'm going to go to my plugins menu, go down to the audio section here, and I have a couple plugins I like to use. One is called Track Plug, and one is called Final Plug. So I've actually already dragged those onto the clip here, but I'm going to show you what they do. So this is Track Plug. So let's listen to a little bit of this now again, and then I'll engage the Track Plug and you'll see what it sounds like. This isn't actually part of my lighting setup. It's just part of the room lights because there's a couple ceiling overhead. This is okay. Now I'm going to hit Track Plug, and you can see instantly the volume is higher. This isn't actually part of my lighting setup. It's just part of the room lights because there's a couple ceiling lights up here. So what is Track Plug doing? Track Plug is a combination. There's a little bit of a noise gate, so it's cutting down. It's got a compressor, and then it's got a little bit of EQ over here. So it's doing a few different things, but the main thing it's doing, and you can watch it here, is compressing the audio. Here, those are daytime, those are soft white. Those are the lower temperature, and you can see the difference. This is the daylight color, and that would be like your, lights that you probably have in your living room. So those are over there, and that's okay. All right, so what that does is raise the overall level, but then to avoid any kind of clipping, and you can see right here I've got kind of a hot spot, to avoid clipping and also to raise it even further, so keep an eye on this waveform down here, on this blue waveform. I'm going to engage Final Plug. So let's listen again. Let's listen from here. This is where the microphone comes. This is the XLR plug. And then on the side it takes flashcards. And you could see over here, if you were looking, that now the audio is between -12 and -6 basically. But let's hit this guy, Final Plug, and now you can see the microphone comes. This is the XLR plug, and then on the side it takes flashcards. Do you see that? When I said flashcard, it went right up to 0. So what Final Plug is doing is something kind of similar, and if you watch this, this is where it's actually compressing and then limiting the volume, so it never goes past 0. The threshold over here is -6, so it's basically taking everything that's -6 and raising it up. If anything goes above -6, it's squishing it down. It's taking a lot of other stuff and raising it up. So keep an eye right here, and you can see this engaging. Takes flashcards. So I take those out and I run them over to my computer setup, and then I import them. Over here, it's a little bit of a mess, but I've got a monitor. So you see that where this is dipping down to the red, that means it's limiting. And if you, again, watch when I play over this little section here, watch this monitor over here, what's the level meters, you'll see that they're just hitting 0. Up, and then I import them. Over here, it's a little bit of a mess, but I've got a monitor. All right, so that is the 2 audio tools that I've incorporated. And again, let's listen to this section without them engaged, and we'll see just how much nicer and louder this audio has become. So here we are back down to the raw footage. This little cable, and that comes out of the camera into the monitor. So when I'm okay, and now same thing with the 2 plugins. This little cable, and that comes out of the camera into the monitor. So when I'm sitting over there, I can see. So this is really clean still, and I just want to review and note that the original audio was captured at around between -20 and -12. You know, the low was -20, the softest was -20, the highest was about -12. And then now it's between 6 and 0 most of the time. That's the studio setup. So again, key light over here, fill light, edge light, 2 fill lights. So what's happened is we've brought the minimum volume up from about -20 to about -6. So if my math is correct, that's about a 14 decibel increase, which is a lot. But it still sounds good, and because the audio was clean, you know, you're not hearing any hiss or anything. The noise floor is very low, and so as you can see, you can record at a you know, relatively low volume. So that way you're avoiding any spikes, you're not going to get any clipping in your recording, and yet you can still output at a high level when you're ready to publish your video. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.